that Brian said we need to do to ensure this broadband is to extend these permitting easements through Act 248 for cell tower siting to make sure that they're expedited. Do you agree that we need to extend that?
Yes, I helped pass those permit reforms, and they definitely should be extended.
Do you think that it's, but for that federal money, and there's been a ton, as you know, in a couple of different steps, that we could have afforded to build this border-to-border system before now?
My feeling about this is that it is like my favorite governor of Vermont and the last governor from Putney, George D. Aiken, and how he felt about electricity. Do we have the resources to get electricity in the 1930s, Vermont asked, to Mrs. Murphy at the end of the dirt road? The power companies were saying, no way, no how. We can't afford to get there. And Governor from Putney said, yes, you will. And we're going to set up cooperatives. We're going to use public-private partnerships, and we're going to get to Mrs. Murphy. I feel this governor from Putney, should you elect me, feels exactly the same way and is just as committed and feels that broadband and cell service at this time in our history of economic development and survival is just as important as electricity was when George Aiken was governor of Vermont.
And just for accountability's sake, so if at the end of your first term we don't have wall-to-wall service, should the voters dispense with you as well?
Well, can we talk about that a little closer to the election in 2012 instead of the one in 2010?
Well, just, you know,
I do believe in holding public people accountable. If you make, by the way, I'm saying 2013, so I want to be clear. I've actually ran this past the experts who know, and I do not believe we can deliver until 2013. But should I be your governor in 2014 and we haven't delivered on the promise, I would certainly think it's fair to say, hey, this guy didn't get it done. Let's take a look at whether we rehire him or not.
Senator, how do you think it should be done? I mean, should it be done through, some people are saying that it can be done through cell towers, some people are saying that it can be done with fiber. There's a big argument in that community about how it should be done and whether or not the towers are going to be enough, you know, to really provide the quality of service at that last mile that you're talking about. So can you talk a little bit about that?
All I can tell you is that's the conversation that I intend to convene with the experts that we bring to the table. I'm a fiber guy. I do believe that we've got to get fiber to as much of the state as quickly as we possibly can. I'm also a finance guy. I'm a conservative fiscal person who understands you can't spend $1 and take in 50 cents. So we're going to have to balance the need for fiber at every last mile, which is the goal, with affordability to figure out how far we can get the fiber. And that's really the conversation for Vermont that I will convene.
Would you expand veggie tax credits?
Come again?
Brian wants to expand veggie to give small businesses more capital. Would you be for expanding that?
You know, I think the difference between Brian's approach and my approach on the question of tax credits, I do not believe that tax credits alone will solve our job problem in Vermont. We've got to get to the rising cost of healthcare. We have to get broadband internet delivered. We have to ensure that we have the best education system in the country, from early child education through to higher education. And we have to ensure that we have a really trained workforce. So let's look at tax credits, but the notion that Vermont can somehow beat the other 49 states in the tax credit war, I think is probably going to lead to more of the same kind of economic policies that we had over the last 8 years. Not much happened. As Jeff Spalding said so accurately, if we do not be innovative in our approach to job creation, we rely on the same old tools that have been used by states for the last 10, 20 years, we're likely to be left behind for long. Thank you. Thanks to Yoram and Tim for